Hello and welcome to GPTV on Tuesday the 18th of July. My name is Philip Kingston.
And I'm Leon Guzenfield.
Leon, great to have you in the chair while Gary's on yet another holiday. I'm so sick of saying he's yet on another holiday, but he is perpetually on holidays.
He is, and while we do miss him dearly, it's good that he's getting refreshed and getting energised for a big spring ahead.
We did talk about him, and a bit of a shout out to Gary Peer. We did talk about him in the sales meeting yesterday, where we talked about how we listed a large property with a challenging vendor.
Yes.
Yes, viewers, vendors can be challenging, as can buyers and can real estate agents. But we did say about Gary is that if we've got a challenging vendor, if there's one person that's always up to the challenge of winning that person over, it's him.
Absolutely, no doubt. He feels like he's always got the right thing to say, and he's got the patience.
I think it's the patience,
Yeah.
and maybe that's why he takes these holidays, because he recharges so that he has the patience for the more challenging clients. But no one does it better than him. So shout out to you, Gary. Not that I'm encouraging you to take any more holidays, but when you do come back, you do get stuck into things. Talking about getting stuck into things, what's your view on the market, Leon?
Look, the market's still good. I mean, I had a look. First of all, we sold all 100% this weekend.
Yes, we better get those towers up. 4 out of 4, which is 100%. And keep in mind, viewers, that I do bag agents for yelling out about their 100% from low numbers. And 4 out of 4 is 100%, but a very light weekend for us. School holidays last weekend.
Yeah, and I think it's just about a ramp up. I think people are coming back this week and we'll be back out in the marketplace, and we're looking forward to seeing you all again, buyers who've had a little holiday for the last couple of weeks.
But I'm going to challenge you a bit here, and keep in mind this is a positive show, Leon, but you're at the coalface. Now, whilst I'm also at the coalface, but you're more at the coalface in dealing with buyers at open for inspections. What's your view on the mood? Because every commentator's got something to say about the market.
Yeah, look, my view on the mood out there is that there's still a huge demand for property, especially housing and land. I think also sometimes we just have a little bit of a look back and think how some of our markets have performed over the last few years. And if you look at the rate of growth we've had in some of our core suburbs, it's just been phenomenal. I mean, I think a block of land in Caulfield South has gone up by anywhere between 70 and 100%
over the last few years.
In 4 years, you know. Yep. So I think that I don't know how much more it could grow at that rate. And I think that if we look back to even 12 months ago, the price is significantly high now. So it could be that some properties sell at a price between what a year ago was and some of the absolute records at competitive auctions that have been achieved in the last few months. So that's sort of how I see it.
So I'm going to break this down a bit. What you're really saying is that there's been such tremendous growth, you can't have a market that just grows tremendously year in, year out. At some point it takes a breather. Yeah. So you're feeling like the market's taking a breather?
It is, and it will be interesting to see what happens in the next 2 to 8 weeks with the stock that we have now and coming up. But I mean, you and Gary called a plateau probably 4 or 5 weeks ago, and it sort of seemed at the right call. Yep. And we went out to the marketplace and had a few just incredible results, and we sort of all looked back and said, have you called that too early? So it will be interesting to see what happens, but certainly there are a lot more buyers for homes in our core suburbs than there are homes for sale.
I think that that's the real key for us at Gary Peer and Associates, and certainly as we talk about things on GPTV, we are very much blessed to be working in an area that there is always constant demand.
That's right.
And supply is always a problem. And I think that you speak to any real estate agent in any of our core markets, and it doesn't matter about how the market's performing, we're always seemingly short of stock.
Absolutely, yeah.
There are some pockets of the market that are always going to do particularly well. There's no question that land is that blank canvas that everybody can paint their own dream on, whether it be developers or homeowners. But I think that the thing that I'm curious about, and I think that we've seen this over the last couple of weeks, with the changes to stamp duty and first home buyers, I think that the apartment market's got a bit of a jump in it that probably wasn't there a couple of months ago. Not that that market's going to go up strongly, but I think that it's a bit healthier. Are you seeing that?
I'm seeing it. I'm certainly, it's a lot of money to save, 13 grand. So 13 grand is what you would lose.
13 grand, that's $13,000 viewers, Leon.
So $13,000 approximately is what you would lose if you're a first home buyer who paid $600,001 a month ago. Now at $600,000, you pay 0 stamp duty, and then the discount dramatically decreases by the time you get to 750, which is almost zero. So if you bought something for 605 now, you get a very good discount.
And I think that in our marketplace, and I say this almost as an apology, we do become a bit flippant about the numbers that we talk about. And you've just talked about $13,000 being a significant amount of money. It really is a massive amount of money, particularly to a first home buyer. But we become a bit insulated to that amount of money, given how many $1 million plus sales we make. So it's sometimes the catalyst is this show even for sitting back and going, you know what, if you're a first home buyer and you're a young couple or somebody that hasn't gone into the market, that extra $10,000 to $20,000 in your pocket makes buying might make the difference between buying or not buying.
Absolutely, and I think also the time to save that deposit for a young couple that all still want to do the things like travel and eat out and have a good time.
You're going to go and talk about the Bernard salt, the avocado on the smashed avocado generation.
You're on the right path, but certainly it's a significant amount of money for a young couple to put away in a short period of time.
Yes.
And now the changes allow them to hit go on the go button and just completely not have any stamp duty up to $600.
Well, that's a good take on the market. Let's talk specifically now about the 4 auction results we had across the weekend, because they were all actually quite interesting in themselves. Let's talk about 9 at 41 Park Street, because as viewers need to be reminded, we're often selling properties of the $300,000, $400,000 and $500,000 value. That was a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom, 1-car space apartment that we thought we'd get somewhere in the high threes. We ended up getting $400,000 for that. So that was a good result. Let's talk though about number 1 Pell Street, Bentley East. Talk us through that sale.
Yeah, so it was a brand new property that Aviv and Tanya handled from the Carnegie office.
Yes.
We continue to do so much in that Bentley East, Bentley area.
It's a great market for us, isn't it?
It's always in our stock list of properties current and coming up.
Yes.
And I know that was a campaign that Aviv and Tanya said was running particularly well. We had a very competitive auction, sold well above the reserve, which we can disclose. The price was,
we can.
The final price was $1,384,000. And if we're talking about the market, I remember selling townhouses in East Bentley in 2011 and 12. And 750, 800 was the big price. And then could have got to $1 million, and people thought that was insane. And now we're sitting closer to $1.5 million, and that's just an everyday kind of range for
that entire townhouse market has been re-rated.
Absolutely.
And I think as buyers started to go to land sales with the expectation that they could buy a small house on a small parcel of land, as they saw the value of land go up, it didn't take buyers long to recognise that half a block of land with a brand new building on it was going to cost them over $1 million. So it's almost overnight, and you're probably putting a 3 to 4 year time frame on it. But you're right, it was only a moment ago that those townhouses were selling for $750,000, $800,000. So shout out to Aviv and his buyer's assistant Tanya, who did a great job there. Stay tuned for some further news on that, which we'll deliver next week, because that sale does have a twist to it, which is really quite fabulous. Big result at home number 3 at 63 Bialaba Road. Once again, Aviv and Tanya with Simon Radolnik as auctioneer. Take us through that, because that was a remarkable sale.
Yeah, it was. And again, another competitive auction, and something that Aviv had identified early in the piece was going particularly well. And there was a lot of buyers, and very entry level to anything other than an apartment or a villa now in South Caulfield, about $1 million plus, and end up selling for $1.205 with competition.
Was a couple of $100,000 almost over the reserve. So it goes to show viewers that even in a market that we're calling plateaued and a bit of the steam's coming out of it, if there is a property with 2 or 3 people running on it and they've determined that they want it, we're still seeing some massive results. Probably the most interesting sale of the weekend was our sale at number 398 Inkerman Street in St Kilda East. Now, the reason, viewers, that this is an interesting sale is because we actually auctioned this about 8 weeks ago.
And it was in May.
That's right. And we just could not get that over the line at the vendor's expectations. So cleverly, as a company, we strategized that, and we said to the vendor, let's re-auction. The vendor obviously had their misgivings about that. If the first auction didn't succeed, why would the second auction? Now, we've done this now probably 20 times over the last 12 or 18 months, and the re-auction of everyone has been successful. This is really interesting, viewers, because we re-auctioned this, and one of the buyers from the first auction campaign came again and put their hand up and ultimately bought it, but they paid 5% more than their highest offer a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
So that is a very satisfying result. Shout out again to Aviv, who's had the most incredible week, but also very, very well looked after by Lamore and Nikki from our St Kilda office. So it's really a lovely story about our office, because if you think about it, a lot of the sale was coordinated by our Caulfield office, but handled by our people from our St Kilda office and handled by people from our Carnegie office. So it was a real team effort and just a great result. Let's talk about this weekend, Leon, because finally the pluggers come out of the market. Obviously, we've had a couple of weekends of depth of winter plus the school holidays, which really drops our numbers. But this weekend, we've got a lot of auctions, so let's have a look.
So, Philip, this week we have 12 auctions across...
12 auctions, starting to get back into the groove.
Yeah, and I'm sure you've been raring to go.
Yes, well, I've also, viewers, as you probably realise, had a couple of weeks off, and I am pumped, excited and enthusiastic to get back with my speakers on, my headset, and going from auction to auction. Let's have a look at what we've got on Saturday.
Sure, we start off at 10:30 at 1 at 242 Cunang Road in Carnegie. A 2-bedroom property. Philip, talk us through that one.
Well, 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, plenty of off-street parking. That property is in absolutely immaculate condition. The vendors have done a lovely job there. You've got to love those parquetry floors. Big entertaining areas there, Leon. That should go well.
Yeah, Leor will have the auction privilege.
Yes,
there
he will.
At 10:30.
Yep.
At 11:30, we haven't gone far. We're staying in Carnegie at 7 Porter Road, and a land opportunity here.
Well, I've got to tell you, GPT viewers, if you were looking to buy an investment, this is exactly the sort of thing that people like Leon and I would buy if we were looking for an investment, because this satisfies two things for us. It gives us land, but with a very livable and lettable home. So it could either be bought by homeowners or developers, subject to council approval, of course. But this is the sort of thing that we love, which is an eminently livable home on land. 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, a lock-up garage, good garden areas. That is the sort of property that you put away in your portfolio and you wake up in a few years' time saying, what a genius you were to buy it.
Absolutely. And with a nice westerly backyard.
Yes.
It faces the right way too, from
It
what
does.
buyers have told us that they want. At 1:30, Jeremy's calling the auction of apartment 804 at 2 Claremont Street, South Yarra. Take us through that one.
Well,
Philip.
that's right in the thick of it. The caption says inner city finding at its inner city living at its finest, and it really is. That whole precinct of South Yarra is quite incredible. That is 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, good entertaining areas. It's got a meals area and a kitchen and a balcony, but who needs to entertain at home when you've got cafe life literally just downstairs?
And a very attractive price range, I think, for a
Yep.
2-bedroom, 2-bathroom
No
property
question.
in South Yarra. That would be about as entry level as they come. Sunday, Philip, we have 9 auctions, so you're going to be a bit busier
I
on
am.
Sunday. And we're starting off at apartment 106 at 187 Buran Road in Caulfield South.
Leon, it's a favourite development of ours. We've sold, in fact, we were responsible for selling off this entire building, and we're starting to see some resales. This is 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 1 car space. This really has got everything going for it, because you've got the park across the road, you've got a cafe downstairs, you've got other shops. I mean, this really is what apartment living is all about. Safety, security, light, luxury, and of course the wonderful cafe downstairs.
Absolutely, and Gary will be calling that auction while you are at 52 Oron Crescent, Philip, and another excellent land opportunity right in the heart of Caulfield North.
Leon, 52 Oron Crescent is 557 square metres with a very charming period home on it that is certainly livable, lettable, renovatable, but we do have strong interest here for the land content. 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, a lock-up garage, and that is, of course, in the precinct near our office that just gets better and better. We love that location.
It's a great spot, Philip. Gary won't have to go far from his Buran Road auction. He'll just have to hop across the road to Mariah Road, at 2 Mariah Road at 11:30 in the morning.
Yep, if he lost his licence, that would be a perfect spot for him to be working, because 2 at 2 Mariah Road is obviously just walking distance from his previous auction. 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, plenty of off-street car parking. And of course, we love Mariah Road. We love that location. It's just walking distance to everywhere.
Yeah, and 1 of 2, Philip.
Yes.
I think is always a really, really strong product to buy.
Yep, without question.
In a great spot too.
It is.
So, and you'll be at 11:30 auctioning another one of two at the rear. Beautifully renovated property at 2 at 23 Spring Road.
Well,
Caulfield
not only
South.
is it beautifully renovated, and the renovation really there is stunning. It's unusual to find a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bathroom property of this size. One of only two on a huge parcel of land, including all of that driveway, which is wonderful. And Spring Road, I mean, look, it really is the park area of Caulfield South. We've got Spring Road Park, we've got the Carrawena and Mariah Road Park, we've got Princes Park. You couldn't have a more park-friendly location than that
It's
one.
a terrific street and always popular
Yep,
with our
absolutely.
buyers. Meanwhile, at 12:30, Jeremy Roses will have the auction privilege at apartment or townhouse 5 at 380 Carlisle Street in St Kilda East, Philip.
Yes, we love St Kilda East. This is 3 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms, and not one, not two, but parking for 3 cars. A beautiful property, and just have a look at the photos to this property, Leon. It is just magnificent. The entertaining areas are incredible.
And very popular last time it was sold.
Yes.
And I hear it's going very well again,
Yep,
Philip.
I think it should go well.
At 12:30, Gary's going to leave his sanctuary of Caulfield South and drive all the way out, not very far though, to 4 Glenora Road, Elsternwick or Ripon Lee. Would say that's in Ripon Lee?
Well, you can call it St Kilda East, you can call it Elsternwick, you can call it Ripon Lee. The most
Elwood's across the road
The
as
most
well.
important thing to do is call it yours, because this is 5 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms, plenty of off-street car parking, beautifully renovated throughout. It really is what we call the turnkey property. Buy it, put the key in the front door, turn it, move straight in, and not spend a cent.
Excellent, Philip. And 12:30, you're going to be in Laura Street.
Well, it's the weekend of land opportunity, isn't it? 11 Laura Street is 610 square metres approximately, with a very good livable, lettable home on it, 2 bedrooms, 1.5 bathrooms. But the story there is all, again, about the land and the story that can be told there, subject to council approval, a development site, your single home site, or renovate and build onto the home. All, of course, subject to council approval.
That would be a terrific single home site, Philip. We've had a lot
It
of
would.
the end product sold this year,
Yes.
and it'd be achieving, high 2s to $3
Yeah,
million.
yeah.
And I think that would be the street worthy of a really good family home.
Laura
and,
Street is a great address.
And that sort of is a perfect parcel of land.
It is.
If you would agree with me, Philip.
I will agree with you, Leon, no issue there.
1:30, you're going to be in Bundy Road,
Yes.
selling this brand new, fabulous town residence. Take us through this one.
Look, it's just completely stunning. 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, a lock-up garage, another car space, everything that opens and shuts. Obviously, the style, the attention to detail, the luxury, the light really doesn't get any better than this. It really is a stunning property, and you can't beat brand new, and that is a great location.
The beautiful north-facing aspect to it,
Yes,
Philip,
yes,
if I may add.
and for those viewers that don't know their north from south, north-facing back garden is the #1 aspect in Melbourne.
That's what they all want, the buyers. That's what they're telling us.
I'll tell you a funny story though. I was just in New York having a look at property,
Yep.
and they were going on and on about the fantastic south aspect. And I'm thinking to myself, how can a south aspect be the right aspect? And then I realised, well, we're on other sides of the world. Their south aspect is our north aspect. But
Exactly.
it did throw me for a few moments. I'm pretty excited. Am I doing this auction at
No, you're not.
6:56?
Gary's
I missed
actually
out on
beaten
that.
you for the 2:30 auction in Inkerman Road. you
Well,
talking about?
I'm jealous because this is not an apartment, this is a penthouse. It's a ground floor of penthouse, the size of a house without the maintenance. 3 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms, plenty of car parking, and that is a stunning home. That is a complete rarity. The position there is fantastic with everything on your doorstep that you possibly want, but that is just the most fabulous property, and Gary's got the auction honours. He is lucky boy.
And a very exclusive block. I think only one of 3, which, again, talking about one of 2, one of 3, this is what is very hard to find
Very hard to
as
find.
things are getting more and more dense.
Absolutely, absolutely. Speaking of dense, how do we love Glen Huntly Road, Elsternwick?
It's just amazing. It's
It
really
is
evolved over the last few years, hasn't
It is
it?
changing dynamically. So we're at actually apartment 707 at 18 Maccombie Street in Elsternwick. Now, Leon, talk us through this property because you've got the privilege of handling this apartment.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you, Philip, when I get to the property, 5, 10, 15 minutes early before
Yes.
the open, I just can't wait to walk into the Kitchen Mills living area and just take a moment and just have a look at the view.
Yes.
And just think to myself, how lucky I am, how lucky we are to live in this city.
Yes.
I'm sure they'll get the pictures up on the screen, but you've got a, almost 300-degree view of the most important parts of Melbourne. the city, all the way through the bay, all the way you could probably see down to Hampton sort of way.
Yes.
And it's got this terrific wraparound balcony, and I even said to a buyer on the weekend, I think if you lived in here, you'd probably live 10% longer, just because you'll feel great either waking up in the morning or coming home after a hard day's work.
We should have put that on the board, 10% longer life by buying here. Leon, this is one of the most remarkable apartments, 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, brilliant entertaining area. But that terrace, without question, is one of the best that I've ever seen. And the interesting thing, viewers, Leon talks about a wraparound balcony, but every room opens to a balcony, which is almost impossible to find. It's a unique feature, but I love the rock star arrival. You arrive into this entrance foyer if you come here as a pedestrian. It's just got a sense of scale and a sense of total luxury, but this is one of the most unusual apartments that we've ever had the privilege of selling. We said Maccombie Street, but it actually sits on the corner of Glen Huntly Road, and how Glen Huntly Road, Elsternwick's changing. As more and more developments happen, more and more of the shops are being filled. Glen Huntly Road's become one of Melbourne's best strip shopping centres. You're anchored by supermarkets, you're anchored by the classic cinema. Woolworths is doing a huge development, or at least that's planned to occur. I can't say that it's through council yet, but again, these are defining developments that are going to change Glen Huntly Road again for the better. But this is fast becoming one of Melbourne's best and premier strips. Leon, before we close, let's hear a little bit about you, because I don't know whether the viewers know, but you're a father soon to be of not one, because Abby's already here.
Yeah.
How old is she?
Abby's going to be 19 months in a few weeks.
Fabulous, but there's a second on the way when?
We've got a girl due in early November.
Oh, so we're actually announcing on camera that we've got a second girl.
Yeah, we've got another
girl.
girl.
Have you cleared that with your lovely wife, Jess?
I don't think I have to clear. We've told enough people, I think.
Right.
I think, you know me, I'm sort of not one for surprises. I'm too inquisitive, so we found out as soon as you can find out, and absolutely looking forward to it, and already heavily outnumbered at home with 2 girls and a female cat.
Wow.
So another female in the mix ain't going to change anything.
So you're going to have 2 little girls under 2.
Yes.
Wow. Well, best of luck with all of that.
Thank
Jess
you.
is a wonderful mother, and your existing daughter Abby is the most gorgeous little girl. So we wish you lots of joy with that. Viewers, great to be back, and next week Gary will be back, suntanned and beautiful. Leon, always great to have you on the show.
Thank you, Philip. It's been a little while. It's good to be back, and excited about what's happening out there, and excited for a big spring that's coming.
It's going to be a big spring, and whilst we've called a plateau in the market, as we said in the sales meeting yesterday, in our favoured suburbs, properties will continue to sell and sell well, and we're looking forward to a big spring. Thanks for watching. I'm Philip Kingston. See you next week.
Goodbye.